Families in Michigan affected by drug abuse now have expanded access to treatment services through Michigan circuit courts. It's made possible by new legislation signed into law by Governor Gretchen Whitmer. This legislation allows circuit courts to start family treatment courts. This will create a clearer path to programs that address substance abuse, provide oversight on child safety, and grant access to mental health resources.
I've gotten a lot of phone calls from family members where I can't necessarily talk to them about a case, but they're really just desperate for their son or their daughter or sister or whatever, to get help.
Another bill the governor signed into law gives judges the flexibility to review circumstances and allow convicted participants of drug treatment programs to continue treatment.
Our state budget is the largest expression of our priorities as a state. So if our lawmakers are going to prioritize the needs of kids and families, this is one way to do that.
Building a foundation so Michigan families can have success. Today, advocates for child care access raised their voices at the state capitol, asking lawmakers to consider kids and families. News 10's Riley Connell tells us how some parents are struggling to afford child care and while they're demanding change.
Imagine you work a 9-to-5 job, maybe in an office, and you want to grow your family, but because of the high cost of childcare, you're forced to leave that job behind. This is the story of hundreds of parents across mid-Michigan.
I was removed from the workforce after having a child and not being able to find childcare, and then in trying to return to the field, not being able to afford childcare on a program director salary.
Leaving the early childhood education field was a tough decision for Rachelle McKissick-Harris to make, but she did it to keep her family financially afloat. Now back in the workforce, she says she spends about $1,600 a month just on childcare. It can sometimes feel like a lose-lose situation.
It's, do I pay for daycare this week or do I buy groceries?
With free preschool and childcare programs that could help parents in Governor Gretchen Whitmer's 2025 budget, advocates like McKissick-Harris are pushing for those plans to pass.
We're here to help kind of bring that message, work collaboratively with our partners to ensure that our state is really doing good by our families with young children.
The Early Childhood Investment Corporation says the average Michigan parent is spending anywhere from 30% to 40% of their income on childcare. Christina Wickert says she's one of the lucky ones who can keep their job and be a mom. But she says lawmakers need to ease the burden for all families.
We budget our priorities, and why isn't this a priority? Why aren't our children a priority? Why aren't working families a priority?
The governor's budget for 2025 has not been approved yet, and advocate groups say there's still time for them to fight for what they want. In Lansing, Riley Connell, News 10.
Along with the financial burden childcare places on families, advocates say parents are losing options for childcare as care centers across the country close. Up to 1,200 centers are expected to close across Michigan with the end of the pandemic funding.
Do you have a tax refund check in the mail? I bet you can't wait for it to be delivered. Neither can the bad guy.